part of the course, which again was about getting the most mileage out of your single newsletter. So what are all of the different channels that you can get that one newsletter in front of as many people as possible through as many media channels as possible once you've made the effort in creating that original newsletter. So we've talked about print strategies, we've talked about digital strategies, and today we're going to talk about what are called content remixes. Sometimes in the industry they're also called mashups, which is basically taking a piece of content which originally started out as a newsletter format and using the content within it to create other media formats. So we're going to talk about using this content to create videos, using this content to create images, using this content to create blog posts, using the content to create social media posts, and also extracting images from the content. So the whole concept here of mashups and remixes is that a lot of effort went into creating this piece, and there are other channels like video or blogging which are wonderfully effective channels. They just need a little bit of tweaking and you can reuse the same content in those channels. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Okay, on number 23, we're talking about turning articles into individual blog posts. So we had already previously discussed taking the entire finished PDF and attaching it to your newsletter archive. So this is different. This is about taking the text of the individual articles and turning them into blog posts. So this particular layout has 6 articles. There's one feature article on the front, there's 4 in the interior, and there's 1 on the back. So there's actually 6 individual articles here, which make for 6 individual blog posts. And again, if this is a monthly publication that has 6 articles in it, that actually allows you to post to your blog every 5 days. So you can take these 6 articles, you can go into your blogging interface, you can actually schedule them to publish 5 days apart, so you don't need to go into your website every 5 days. You go in there once, you post everything, you schedule them to post 5 days apart, and now you have new things being added to your website throughout the month. One of the things that people do wrong with blogging is that they don't fill in the metadata and they don't fill in the categories to keep their content organized. So you can imagine, we talked about, what if you commit to doing this for 5 years? Okay, well, 5 years is 60 newsletters. But 60 newsletters times 6 articles is 360 articles. So imagine the asset that you've built up once you have 360 blog posts, but also imagine how messy and chaotic it would be if you don't properly categorize things. So this is really just just a reminder that before you get started with this, if you're going to make a long-term commitment to it, get your categories set and take the time to put each of the 6 articles into the right category, because you'll really be thankful that you did later. It'll keep the content much more organized, and you'll really be able to direct people to the website and say, hey, go to this section on tinnitus, and you can see all of the articles from the last 5 years that fall into that major category. So it's a way to reorganize the content rather than month by month, to reorganize it by topic. And so turning the articles into individual blog posts by topic is definitely a great idea. Okay, number 24 deals with Twitter, and Twitter only allows 140 characters, so you can't take an entire article and tweet it. What you want to do is use these 2 strategies together. So we just talked about posting the article to your blog. Well, if you post an article on, hearing protection, then you can do a tweet, which is just short and enticing, 5 things you didn't know about hearing protection, or, how Bob could have prevented his hearing loss, something enticing, and then click through to the blog article. So it's going to give you something to tweet about, because a lot of people are like, what do I put on my Twitter account? So 1, it gives you something to tweet about, and 2, it brings visitors to your website. So if they're on Twitter, on their phone, or on their computer, when they click through that link, well, now they're on your website. And if your content is well categorized, which we just discussed, then even though they click through on that initial tweet, they're going to stay and read other things in that category because that was what they were interested in. All right, remix strategy number 25 is to take the individual articles and turn them into Facebook posts. Now, the Facebook is kind of on this borderline. So a lot of these articles, at least in our version of the newsletter, they're right around 200 words. And so you could use them on Facebook as is. They'd be kind of a long Facebook post, but they would work. Probably better is to just use the first 1 or 2 sentences and then provide a link to read the rest of the article on your blog. Again, people are not on Facebook to read long paragraphs, and you do want to bring people back to your website, and hopefully you have some special offers going or you've got some events coming up. And so rather than keeping them in Facebook to read the entire article, give them 1 or 2 sentences, bring them to your website to read the rest of it, and then surround that content with the other things that you'd like them to see. So again, 6 articles gives you at least 6 Facebook posts, which gives you something to put out, roughly every 5 days. Okay, number 26 is really just talking about different platform. We're talking about LinkedIn status updates. LinkedIn, you definitely want to keep things fairly short. You want to send people back to your website to read more. And you don't want to hammer your audiology contacts on LinkedIn. So a lot of you are probably connected to other doctors of audiology or clinical audiologists on LinkedIn. And so this information is really not for them. This information is for the general public. And so you want to post it in LinkedIn in a way that it's directed at the general public. And so often actually posting it in groups where you may find a hearing loss support group or a tinnitus support group. Those are better places to post on LinkedIn rather than to your personal network. But there's a lot of different groups to join and status updates and things that you can do on LinkedIn. And again, 6 articles in a month gives you 6 things that you can do on LinkedIn throughout the month.